All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we could take advantage of in this Forex market. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. If everybody can hear me loud and clear, do me a favor, drop me a one in the chat. Let me know that you hear me, that I don't have any technical issues. I appreciate it. Blessed morning to you as well. Okay, thanks. I see the one coming in. So let's make sure that we start each and every day with a strong foundation, not just in the trade game, but also in life. We want to make sure that we are accepting all possible losses before entering the trade, preparing you for any outcome. We want to make sure that we center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to our trading. We want to make sure that we continue to trust in our education, strategy, trading skills, and intuition. And we want to always imagine our trades successfully materializing and that we are at all times obeying our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear. And we want to make sure that we are never looking back or stopping once our trade has commenced. So, hope everybody is having a great week and all ready to go. Lots of things going on around the world, right? That we should be paying attention to, right? As traders, as investors, right? So we go over today, we're going to talk about the dollar index, right? So we climbed above 101.7 on Thursday, rising for the fourth straight session to the highest in 3 weeks. And strong U.S. private employment data supported the view that the Federal Reserve does not need to cut interest rates aggressively. Okay, so it's a lot of back and forth, right? We got the 50 basis point cuts that they did. The debate has been, hey, are they going to go another 50 or is it going to be 25 and 25, right? So we see here that the Federal Reserve, the data right now is supporting that the Federal Reserve does not need to cut rates aggressively. So an ADP report showed that 143,000 jobs were added to the private sector in September, well above forecast of 120,000, indicating that the labor market remains resilient. Investors now look ahead to the latest weekly jobless claims on Thursday and the September jobs report on Friday to gain more clarity on the rates path. Markets now see a 65% chance that the Fed will opt for a more modest 25 basis point cut in November, up from 43% a week ago. The dollar hit a 1 month high on the yen after Japan's new prime minister said it was too soon for additional rate hikes. The greenback also strengthened sharply against the euro amid dovish remarks from a European Central Bank official. Right. So the yen, right, that carry trade is back on. We were looking at it on that was the major thing that we looked at on Saturday was all of those yen setting up the same in those type of 80-20 scenarios. And we got what we were looking for, right, on those yens to move back to the upside. We saw the correction, but then it continued to move to the upside. So it's looking like right now, besides risk off scenarios with everything that's, you know, uh, developing in the Middle East, that carry trade is back on for the yen, and those low prices that we saw may be the opportunity, right? And we still have it because it's going to pull back. Maybe the opportunity to get long against those yens for another long run. So we'll continue to watch that and see what continues to transpire. European markets lower. European equity markets were in the red on Thursday, resuming this week's sell-off amid increased geopolitical tensions in the Middle East and the fading China stimulus rally. Both the stock is 50 and the stock is 600 were down about 0.5%. Euro area producer prices rise in August, 0.6%. And then we have here that the pound appreciates after comments from BOE governor, right? So we'll read about that because that's important. Week to 131 against the dollar, moving away from March 2022 highs touched in late September after comments from the Bank of England governor raised bets the central bank would deliver another rate cut in November. Andrew Bailey said in an interview, right? Remember, they decided to hold right before. in September. So he said in an interview with The Guardian that the bank could move more quickly to cut interest rates if there is further good news on inflation. Markets are now pricing in a 25 basis point cut next month and a 40% chance of a similar reduction in December. Right. So we'll see how that goes, right? Continuing to um, follow the narrative on that. All right. So Swiss inflation hits a 3-year low. All right. So just keep in mind, right, that Swiss is a safe haven currency. We get things to continue to escalate in the Middle East, right? The Swiss franc can always find strength in that. Right? So let's be prepared for that as well. That is it, right? That I have on that. Oh, wanted to take a look at crude oil, right? WTI futures rose towards $71 a barrel on Thursday, rising for a third session, driven by concerns over potential supply risk amid escalating Middle East conflict. Earlier this week, Iran launched a missile attack on Israel, which was which has vowed to retaliate, heightening fears of possible disruptions to oil production facilities or supply routes in Iran. The region produces around a third of the world's supply. Meanwhile, EIA data showed 3.89 million barrels increase in crude inventories, while gasoline demand fell to a 6-month low, easing worries about supply shortages. Additionally, there are signs of ample supply as OPEC Plus plans to restore some of its previously halted capacity. Increases set to begin in December after a 2-month delay, suggesting no immediate threat to global availability. Right, so it's been on the run to the upside because of what's going on in the East. So we'll continue to keep a close eye on oil. So lots and lots and lots going on. Any questions on the fundamental side of the game? No. All right. So moving into these charts, right? Coming and take a look at hold on a second. The DXY. Look at that run, right? So it did not want to go below 100, right? So we came in, the low here was 100.13. So this level, it does not want to break below, and it's skyrocketed. So the market has a memory, so we need to remember that, right? This is a key level, right? And I mean, and this has gone straight up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 days. We'll see uh if we break and close to do what we broken it. But if we close above uh, this 100.85 level, okay, so we'll see. But right now, that dollar is moving bullish. Here's that 4-hour range that we had drawn out. It is right back to the top of the range, and it got there. Okay, so this was that 4-hour 80-20. Isn't that level amazing? Right? That's amazing, right? That's our thing, right? Home of the 80-20, right? So it's looking like it's trying to get to that 382 target and then higher, right? When you're looking at it from a Fibonacci perspective. So right now, playing around at a key level, but it has been bullish. With that being said, I want to take a look at this Aussie dollar, okay? On this 4-hour play, we'll look at it from the daily first. This is definitely reversing, right? Moving bearish. Okay, to the downside, stochastic is in the sell zone, moving down. So we at least, right, if you plan this, we're looking for this to continue to move down through the zone as we've got a bullish dollar, especially if the markets, okay, here we are in this 80-20 on the one, 80-20 zone, especially if the markets continue to uh, remain a bit risk off and things keep selling off, right? That typically is not good for commodity currencies like the Australian dollar. We know the Aussie is overall bullish, right? But the fundamentals, right, the things that are playing out is causing the correction right now. And that's all good, right? That's why we look to trade the wave. So if I could get this to load, we'll be able to take a look at our risk gauges to see what we're looking like here. We'll come back to it because it was just up. But anyway, we've got a correction moving down, right? So we can look for pullbacks on this as we're coming out of this 80-20 zone. This one, right, down 74 pips already off that 80-20 level. So we want to look for opportunities for pullbacks and continuation. Okay, pullbacks and continuations to the downside. If you're a buyer of the Australian dollar and you're trading off this 1 hour chart, you need a low price anyway. Okay, you need a low price anyway. So right now, an up AV boundary, but we are correcting. Right? If you look at it from a daily perspective, you have an area here where past resistance can become future support. We have to see where, right, this Aussie dollar wants to settle down. Got a level right before that, but kind of all in the same area here, right, in the same zone that we want to pay attention to see if it. Any questions on the Aussie dollar? No. All right, all right. So moving right along, right? We want to check in on these yen crosses since they are moving. Right? So we'll do a quick check-in there. Right. So I'm looking to stay bullish, right, against this yen for the most part. Again, like I said, hey, major developments, in the Middle East, something huge jumps off. We could definitely see, right, you know, cash flow go to the yen as a safe haven, also the Swiss franc. We see the dollar benefiting from it right now, but we'll continue to monitor it. But from a monetary policy standpoint, with the Bank of Japan backing off of you know uh, future rate hikes in the near future, I'm definitely looking for uh, long plays on these yen crosses. So we see right here, this is the Aussie yen. We've made a low, higher high, higher low, pushed higher for the higher high. I want to see this continue to this D extension, right? So looking for opportunities to get involved, right, with the continued move to the upside. We can see where we are on Saturday, looking to see like, hey, we've got this huge fundamental candle here that pushed price down. Are we going to get a continuation to the downside, or is it going to honor, right, what we saw, right, in the 80-20 scenarios, right? When we broke that B boundary prior to having a 382, is it going to correct and continue long? And it did, right? It did, right? Coming up that level, right? That's over 300 pips, right? The one I was primarily looking at was that GJ, and that one played out. So that's your Aussie yen. We look for things to continue long. You can see we had a D extension here, so we need a reset, which that should be showing up already. We got an ABCD move. This was our C, our lowest point within the AB boundary. Our D extension was hit. That should be a new AB boundary. It'll adjust itself soon, right? So that's where we are on the Aussie yen. Any questions?
No.
All right. Moving down to the CAD yen, checking the progress on that, continuing to move long, right, to the upside. Okay, we know that CAD is benefiting. They got some good domestic data, right? So if we go and we take a look at the CAD, I think they went back over 50 as far as the the PMI. So their manufacturing PMI rose to 50.4. Right. So they were getting pounded with some pretty negative domestic data over the last few months, but as of late, they've gotten some decent data, right? So improving, like it says, their operating conditions. And then the geopolitical tensions that's causing that oil price to move to the upside definitely benefits Canada, right? Because it's a commodity currency and oil is its thing in Canada. So we're seeing it benefit from that. So we're getting this move up, right? So we got that huge bearish candle. This was the low, and then it continued to move long. So we'll see if we can continue to progress and move beyond this level. See how long this scenario lasts. But just know we've reached a high level now. Um, this is what we looked like on the 4. Huge 80-20. That was fast. That was a fast move to the downside. And then we got long 8-6 retracement, 1.18 extension. And so we are trying to form that second candle on the right. That'll give us a fib on the 4. And we'll see if we get a correction and eventually a continuation. Again, here was another yen cross that we covered on Saturday. Yeah, took out the A, we flip our fib, right? And you had your targets getting set up, right? Just a classic 80-20 plays that we've been doing for years, right? For years in the Forex trade, right? So went beyond that, right? So you had your AB boundary. We broke our beat boundary prior to having a 382 retracement. We stalled in our 80-20 zone and we moved up. Now we've taken out this A, we flipped this fib off the low and go the other way, right? And so looks like, right, the same game all over again. Where we'll see if we push up a little higher and to see if we get a correction, right? But we know, right, if we link this down from the top, right, we know that we're in the critical zone right now. It's been here twice, okay? See if the third time is the charm, right? So beautiful 80-20 swing we talked about on Saturday. Hey, you don't have to play all of them, right? And get over indexed on, one particular currency pair, uh, uh, one particular currency cross, but, take a shot, at least one of them, right? And they paid off to the upside. Now we'll see, right? Can we, right, get a correction and then a continuation, right? That's the question. Is it going to hit our 80-20 zone, right? Is it going to hit our 80-20 zone and then move down? We'll see. Okay. Any questions on the CAD yen?
No.
All right. All right. Okay. So moving on. Swiss yen. Bullish. Right? Continuing to move along. Right. Identical pattern. There's the correction. We've got another low put in here. So I am going to look for corrections and continuations, right, on these yen pairs. Okay. So there's a new low. The daily time frame. It was our 4-hour that we marked up on Saturday. It's a clean move. You had an 80-20 on the 4. You flip this fib now and get back long. Right? Wait for a new fib to set up there. Here we are on the 1-hour as well. There we go. That same price action pattern, right? So if you were playing this off of the 1-hour, right? The A got taken out. We'll clean this up. It's the same thing over and over again. It's a pattern-driven market, right? So here we are. That was your target 1, your target 2, and your target 3 is always that A boundary at the top, right? So we've taken that out. We flip it over. Right. Right. Beautiful Morningstar pattern here. Decision, indecision, decision to the upside. Let's see what happens when we hit this zone. See what happens. For the most part, overall, I would like to buy the yen. See what happens, right? We know both of these. The Swiss yen and the yen can act as safe havens. Again, paying close attention to what's going on in the Middle East. This stochastic on the 1 is in the buy zone. We'll see if we push up to this 127 level, 118, 127 level, if we start to stall out and move sideways. If not, the momentum may carry straight, right, to the D extension on that. All right. But these are definitely overall moving long. Okay, so it's another setup there. Any questions on the switch? This is amazing. Is if you mark your charts up and take the same approach, it's easy to see the price action patterns. That's what we do. Okay. All right. All right. Moving right along. Moving right along. Okay. Move down to the euro yen. There's the swing. Continuing to move higher. Continuing to move. We'll see, right? If this starts to stall out a little bit, get back into our buy zone. All right. Definitely look for a long continuation. This is kind of just bouncing around all over the place. All right. So I am going to continue to look long against these yens. For the most part, this price action, it's all over the place. I just need a low. Okay, so we'll start it from there. We're at the extension point. Just when I hear the Bank of Japan say, hey, to proceed with caution on rate hikes. And the thought before was that they would continue to hike rates, right? Since they are lagging behind other central banks, but now they're seeming to back off that a little bit, right? So I am going to lean to the long side against the yen right now, and again, just continue to keep my eye on what's developing with the there. Okay. So I would prefer, right, to look for pullbacks and continuations to the upside. All right. So that's the euro yen. The pound yen, the one that I was definitely looking to play. And the reason why I was looking for that move to occur on this pound yen is because the yen had been running so strong, right? So I oftentimes if I can get a currency that's been extremely strong versus one that's becoming extremely weak as a result of the fundamentals, that one will be number one on my priority list. But we know today we got some we got the we got the news not today, but we got the news that out of the Bank of England, little change in tone. So in regards to rate cuts, so we see that pound tailing off a little bit, but I would still like to stay bullish against this pound yen. Here's this 80-20 play here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to flip this to the long side to see if we can hold within this up AB boundary, just like the rest of them. So we've got a 80-20 that's now gone through TP2. We're pulling back again. I want to see if we can get a higher low to form. That's an 80-20 that I missed. I don't know if anybody was able to get a hold of that one, but that's nice, man.
I seen it in the making, and I'm long on this, and I just spanked my hand, and I said it'd be nice to see what this look like.
Man, I did not catch that because I was looking at, I had the previous play. So I kind of left it alone. Look at that. And that's a pound yen too. So that's a big move. That's a big move down to that target. Yeah. Over 200 pips. My goodness. Well, it's all good, Joy. It's all good. My guess is most of things shipped from Japan would probably come into the West Coast. To answer your question. Okay. That's the shortest route to the US from Japan is to come in through that West Coast. Uh so we probably won't, have anything impacted in that. Yep. So,
I was
and
just playing
let's.
Scooby Doo. I'm like, I wonder if they cooling off because they knew these was coming up.
No, that all has to do with what the Bank of Japan had to say. Like, so the markets and investors are like, what? No future rate hikes. All right, carry trade right back on, right? Because you remember, what happened with the yen before, and we saw that strength because everybody was unloading that carry trade, unwinding. But now the monetary policy, with them saying that, proceeding with caution on rate hikes, it's like, all right, well, we'll look to get back long. This correction here is from, the change in the tone from the BOE. But like I said, we have to. I can't say it enough. I've said it a lot on this already in regards to what's going on in the Middle East, because when in doubt, you know, sell and ask questions later, and go to cash, right? Go to cash, go to gold. When you've got high levels of uncertainty. So we have to keep a close eye. We've continued for the most part. What we've seen is okay. There's the initial reaction to what's going on, and then the market just continues to move through it. But this war has now expanded through the region, and it's become a larger scale situation. So that definitely creates a different scenario compared to what has been going. Just the back and forth, in that particular zone. But now it's become more wide scale. So we have to really pay attention to what the market sentiment is going to be around us. And I say that again because of that yen can act as a safe haven. And if the markets go major risk off, we know that the pound typically thrives when you've got a risk on situation with the markets, right? Because of the financial, you know, uh, centers, right? With that surround the UK. So this is we'll see. This could be a good one to get long. It's right at the edge of our buy zone. I'm gonna watch this one closely for the continuation. We're not here in the buy zone yet on the daily. I like for those things to kind of align, right? See if we can get some alignment there on that, right? Not far away, but this becomes a beautiful scenario, right? If this is just a pullback in the test of that candle, right? So if you look at this candle as a 0 to 100% move, then this becomes beyond 100%, and then we reacted, right? So it went beyond 100% to 127%, and then we're moving back down, right? So that, in essence, is what we're seeing uh, on that lower time frame, right? That move. Think about it. a slight pullback to my 80-20 zone, and then back down. So do we retest 50% of this candle, bullish candle, 61.8%, 78.6%, right? Before we see some sort of continuation. Okay. So just trying to find that ultimate low price on this trade. Right? So we got a 4 hour stochastic that's in the sell zone. So we'll continue to see maybe it moves sideways and gets choppy for a bit. You can see here that we had pretty much a double bottom in this area and then a push to a higher high. Right now we're pulling back. So I like it long. Right. Just trying to really get the lowest price as possible. Trying to get that discount. We may be there. We'll see. Any questions on the pound yen? No. Yeah, I would agree, Joy. Yeah, it's a totally different ball game right now in the Middle East. Totally different ball game right now. So, which I think a lot of people doubt that it was going to head this way. Right? It's just only a matter of time. So here we are, right? We kind of this is New Zealand and this NJ is kind of ranging, right? But again, right, when we look at daily candles, right, are we going to retest this bullish candle from the previous day, find a low, and then continue on? This is with the cloud, right? So this is a beautiful move, right? Beautiful swing. We had the 80-20 here that moved through two take profits, settled around that 786 level, and then we moved long. So now it's just a matter of, you know, do we see a further correction before continuation? Not sure, right? Not sure. They continue to accelerate. Here we are on the one. Right? And you can see this similar, right? Again, pattern-driven market, right? That similar pattern, that W pattern, and now we're pulled back, and maybe we do get that continuation. 1 hour is looking like we're going to set the so we'll see on that, right? And so I wanted to go through these to show you guys, like, man, there's a lot of similarities, right? If you know what to look for. Okay, this UJ, it's moving long, right? It's moving long. So this is well over, right? Here is this 80-20 on the one, right? 80-20 that played out. That's well over 1,000 pips. Well over 1,000 pips in these yen crosses back to the upside combined. Just like that, right? And we're sitting up here midweek, well, towards the end of the week, beyond midweek now. But it happened fast, right? And you can see how we're setting up the same. Right around this 80-20 zone. Price got overextended. Okay. Price got overextended a bit. See it? Bullish candle, 0 to 100%. We move higher. So now do we correct? Do we make the correction down and then continue long? Okay. I would love to buy it from here, right? Okay. If I'm looking for an initial position, I want to buy it from there. I don't want to buy it from here. Okay. I want to get a greater discount to move long. I want a 61.8% discount, right? For that TV that I've been eyeing at the store, right? I don't want to buy it. That's not a large enough discount. Right? I wanted to pull back. I'll take 50% off, right? But that's 61% off, 62%. I like it. Okay. So that's how I think about it. I want the best price possible if I'm gonna buy. I want the highest price possible if I'm gonna sell. Right? That's the UJ. So we'll see. We look at the DXY, we know that price has reached the top of that range again, trying to break through that range. Do we correct? Right? Do we see a dollar correction? It's been moving for 4 or 5 straight days to the upside. When does the dollar take a breather? Keep in mind, everybody, Private sector job growth came in above forecast. Sometimes the non-farm payroll falls right in line with that, and sometimes it doesn't, right? First Friday of the month is upon us, right? So we've got non-farm payroll tomorrow, and we want to see, right? Let's go back to our Forex factory, to our calendar, right? So we want to know, we know that this dollar has been on the run, okay? We got non-farm payroll data coming out, okay? Unemployment rate, average hourly earnings, and we've got a FOMC member speaking to. So don't discount that. Don't forget about that. Okay. Um, you've been sitting on it in a buy on this UJ.
Man, let me tell you, I thought it was a buy, and when I made a buy, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna hit the 80-20 in reverse. Man, that joker kept on going down and down, and so I actually, the date that it dropped was the date I did the buy. I say, you know what, this is gonna be one of them plays that I put a wide stop, because what I did was I've been using the daily, so I used the daily.
Hmm.
And I just let it run, and I was like, man, I knew and I was just sitting in it, and I couldn't do nothing. That's the reason why that week I was like, I'm a learner, because and I got, when I'm talking about three positions, they all hit, and I just been sitting, and I just been sitting like, you so. I had to give myself some grace, and I said, you know what, maybe, and I started thinking, I said, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. We're gonna find out. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I know. It's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of back and forth. They're bullish now. I'm interested to see if this is gonna correct, with the data tomorrow. That'll be quite interesting. I mean, we're at a key level on the DXY again, the top of that range, and just ahead of the news. So we're been running for multiple days right to the upside. So this is one. Let's see what happens, everybody. Uh, but over the long term, I'm definitely looking long against these yen crosses. So that's that. So that's all of our yen crosses. I want to go in and take a look at our indices ahead of market open to see where we are. So this is the S&P 500. We are getting a good correction. Now, the one thing I will say, right, we have uh, geopolitical tensions, yes, right, it's causing some concern. But when I look at, globally, interest rates are coming down. Uh, uh, you know, inflation's coming down, and when you look at the United States, when you look at the GDP, when we look at the growth, we're growing pretty good, right? We're still moving along. So I want to be a buyer of this S&P. That's just my take. We got interest rate cuts, we got inflation coming down, we've got, and we've got decent GDP growth. So I want to actually buy, I want to actually look to buy this, right? Uh, but again, we got one more piece of data coming out tomorrow. But looking at this 4 hour play, I really want to buy this S&P. And maybe if we get some negative data uh, tomorrow, where we miss forecast tomorrow, maybe we push lower, and then I'll be eyeing this support, this daily level, past resistance becoming future support. Maybe that's the level, but I really want to get involved, right? And add another position long on the S&P, right? So that's a 4 hour look there. If we move up to the daily, right? want to see, right? Here's this level. Here's that level right there. Okay, looking at it from the daily. Do we find support and then get long to that daily D extension? Okay, so that's what I'm looking. So I'm definitely thinking bullish on the S&P. We'll see what happens there. Looking at the US 30. This is the 4-hour. It's off. There we go. Fitness form now. So we got a new AB boundary. So do we correct, right? This one right here might be a play where we only get a correction down to this area here, right? You see where past resistance is coming in right around this 382 area. If we get to this point and we hold, right, get to this point and we hold at this higher level, I will be looking, I look to take that and make the exception at this level. I will definitely look for additional confidence. Trend line break, bullish candle reaction off of that level, and I'll run a tighter stop on it. Right? So I'll be putting that stop underneath the C if I end up taking it, right, off that 382. Okay, if we get a good reaction off this level. Okay. If we don't and we continue to push down, then I'll be looking to put my stop below that A once we hit the buy zone. Any questions on that US 30? No? All right. NASDAQ. Yeah. This is what we're looking like on a daily, right? So I'm seeing, right, prices, that correction, right, is starting to settle down a bit, right? At some of these levels, our stochastic is moving back down towards that buy zone. So continuing to be patient, because as we move through the end of the year, right, to add positions to get back involved, I'm looking at it over the long term to buy and hold. Okay, to buy and hold. Hold on 1 second for me, everybody. All right, I'm back. Had to make sure everybody was up, rocking and rolling for school. All right, so this is where we are. So just continuing to pay attention, right, to these levels. Let's drop down to uh, let's drop down to our chat, right? So we're correcting, right? Do we hold or push lower? Right? See how it's settling down, right? Paying close attention at these levels. Close attention. This is a beautiful move. That gave us a deep price there. But I'm wondering, right? Are we going to uh, get that nice deep correction, right, on this one? We're going to get back above these levels and just continue to run, right? So again, be impatient. So that's your NASDAQ there, moving down. I know, right? They will creep back in the bed on you, especially towards the end of the week. We play a lot of sports and things like that, so towards the end of the week, they're burnt out and tired. So I always have to double back and check to see to see if they have indeed gotten up, right? So this is the Nikkei, right? The 225. This is starting. This is looking like it's starting to want to make this U-turn off this daily, right? So we'll see if that creeps back down to the buy zone. But we do have a swing low here, so we do have a higher low here. We'll see if that continue to we'll see if that We'll see if that could continue. We'll see if that could continue to run long, uh, and make his move. I think. Let me see. We have any news on that? Let me see. Uh, I thought there was. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was. Let me see. Let me go. I lost it. Right. So it jumped there. Yeah, I was looking. There was another article I was reading, but yeah, almost 2%. Right. Might as well call it 2%. Um, Thursday, so the yen fell to a 1 month low. So it's no different than when we get that weak dollar and we see that rally, right? In the stock market, oftentimes, depending on what the cause of, what caused the dollar to weaken. Um, so you can see here why, right? This is key why you read this so you gain a better understanding of the markets. So the yen fell to a 1 month low, boosting shares of export heavy Japanese companies. That makes sense to everybody? Yes, no? Yes? Make sure you have clarity on that and why that is. If you're confused about that, right? Speak up, right?
Yeah, that didn't sit with me just yet, but I'm a bit confused. But
Gotcha. So we know that primarily Japan is an export economy, right? Follow me there. They export a lot of things to the rest of the world. Okay. In order, in order for someone from the UK or a company from the UK or a company from the United States to buy exports from Japan, they have to do what with their currency? Anybody? Any takers? So if I'm ABC company from the United States, I want to go buy exports from Japan, I have to exchange my I have to exchange my US dollar, right? I have to I have to exchange my US dollar uh for Japanese yen. If the yen is less if the yen is less expensive to purchase, right? Then I can get more bang for my buck, right? So I'm gonna do more business with the company that I'm buying exports from out of Japan because I can get more value, right? I can get more product because the value of the yen has depreciated. Everybody follow me on that? Yes or no?
yes, I got you on that one. That makes
Yeah,
sense. That's
gotcha, right?
that's why you say I'm always waiting for that discount price.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yep, you pulled it all together. So you can see it 1 month low, the yen fell to a 1 month low, boosting shares of export heavy Japanese companies. Okay. Because if Japanese companies are doing more business, right, improving their bottom line as a result, right, the speculation, right, we're going to invest in I'm going to buy shares of this company because if they improve, then my shares improve. So that's just the ebbs and flows of the market. So the week for Japanese companies, right, for Japanese companies, a weaker yen to a certain point, right, really helps them if they're an export company. It puts pressure on your regular everyday citizen, right? It can because of the value of their money, right? But you know, all in all, from a business and investing perspective, right, you can see that it really helped, right? Uh, Japan stock market index. Okay, so because they're a heavy export economy. All right. So we saw that this start after that huge correction, we saw that it started to improve again. Right. So that's the J the Nikkei, right? 225. So that's that. You got it, Tyrone. So moving on down, right? The UK 100 is still right. It's starting to get a little boost, right? It's moving sideways, but it's starting to break out a bit. And we talked about what the head of the Bank of England had to say, right? Coming in a little bit more dovish about the possibility of rate cuts after they held rate cuts at the last session. Looking forward, right? Hey, we could see rate cuts. We're seeing a little boost there in the UK 100, right? So looking to kind of break out of that range. So if we move down to like, let's see if we can start to see, right? Look at that. Look at that push, right? It's starting to run. So we look for opportunities. This might be setting up for a good time to look for it to break out of this range. So we look for some retests and some continuations. Not quite ready yet, right? Unless you just buy strictly off the fundamentals, right? But I would love technically to see some type of break and a pullback to retest, right? Past resistance becoming future support, some type of zone to see if it's for real, if the buyers are for real. Right? And we're going to continue to move up on the UK 100. The Russell, all right? Continue to drag along, making higher highs and higher lows. We've taken out this high, pulling back, see if we can find some support and continue long, right? Keep in mind, right? We see in the correction, the DXY has been running strong. The dollar's been running strong 4 or 5 days now. We got non-farm payroll tomorrow. The dollar's back at the top of the range, right? We'll go back. Go back and we'll see it, right? The dollar sitting at the top of that range. Is it going to correct and move back down? Maybe not all the way back down to the bottom of the range. Don't know, but maybe we get a pullback here. Okay. And then a continuation. But if it does decide to correct off this level, we may see a further continuation up on this Russell. Okay. We may see a further move up. Okay. Like so. So keep a close eye on that. And okay. So that's your Russell. All right. Beautiful. That came right down. I don't know if anybody made the play on that. But that's some beautiful price action coming right out of that 80-20 zone, right? On this German 30. And we're right at the edge of the buy zone now. So let's continue, right? To watch this one closely. If you took advantage of that one, congratulations. Right? Now, right, we're at a 50% discount now. Are we going to get long? We're going to make a higher high, higher low, and continue. Our 4-hour stochastic is in the buy zone. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. All right. Should be interesting. I would love to see the indices make a strong run to close out the year. Right. So we've headed, we've gotten through September, and we talked about historically how the S&P has a rough September. I didn't think it was going to be as bad in September because it seemed like the major correction came in August, right? And so we saw that correction, and then we saw the S&P rally. Right? So it was a little bit different, a little bit of difference. We saw the beginning sell off, but I don't think it went as deep as it could have, as it historically can go, because we saw a decent correction in August. A lot of things had occurred the month prior. So I would love to see these indices set up to rally, and they're looking like they're getting to some good positions for us here as we look to go to the end of the year. Ryan, good morning, sir. Make sure I
Good
check in with
morning,
you before
bro.
the end of the session, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm jealous of you, man. I'm jealous. I am jealous. You gonna send me. So uh Ryan told me, hey man, we're having an event and Jennifer Hudson's gonna be there. And I'm like, Jennifer Hudson, that's 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 an amazing lady right there, Ryan. Tell her I say hi. Ryan sends me a picture, just the grinning and smiling, him and Jennifer Hudson right next to each other, smiling, man. So man, that was quite an honor to have your daughter, have her sing happy birthday to your daughter, man. That's something she is never gonna forget,
Yeah, man. It was cool. It was cool.
man.
She's a cool spirit, man.
Yeah, man. And I'm never gonna forget you did me like that. So it's all so it's all good.
Uh,
It's all good, man. Anything on the fundamental front before we close out?
no, man. You've talked about it. Just tracking the comments coming out of the BOJ, and they're more supporting the dovish tone. So,
Yeah,
uh, but no, you've covered everything, bro.
for sure. For sure, man. So I'm glad you had a good time yesterday, man. And your daughter had that experience. That's something else.
No, I
So
appreciate it, man.
no doubt.
It was cool.
No doubt. No doubt. So yeah, lots of things going on. Busy lives, but a great life indeed. All right. So looking at this dollar, this not the dollar, but the oil play, right? We're starting to move back up to this level again on the daily. Right? Do we top out again, at this level, or do we continue to move and break through and take this fib off for now? Right? And just look at this price action here. Right? And we'll label this zone like so. That's where we saw the reaction last time. So, like, okay. Continue to see if we get that break above this key level. Check the settings. So 72.58 is that level. So we will continue to monitor things and see uh, how it goes. It's bouncing off the 1 hour 50 uh, simple moving average. So let's go down, take a look at it. So maybe 50 and 200 on it. So it's holding above it, Joy, right? So we've got the 200 moving straight through, right? Sideways, but moving in the upward direction. So we'll see if it finds support. We get to that 72.58 level. So a little bit of extra confirmation there on oil. Appreciate that, Joy, for sure. Identifying that, see if we hold above that 50 and keep it moving. That might be a good buy point. Gold, right? Look for this to continue to move long. It's just like, man, you know, uh, when does the correction come? That's what I'm wondering. Okay, do we see a move down off these levels? So overall bullish, but again, it's out at 2,600. Want to see if we can get some sort of correction. Don't know how deep it'll be yet, but it's just moving sideways right now. We should get something better with non-farm, right? Because this is gold pay. This is not a gold ETF or anything like that, right? This is gold versus the dollar, right? So we know that we've got some pretty important data coming from the United States tomorrow. So we'll see if we get price to get pushed either way out of that range. So that's where we are on gold. The silver play that we've been following, right? Still overall moving long, just moving a bit sideways at this level. So we'll see if it wants to make another correction before heading towards the extension. Here's the nat gas play continuing to do its thing, right? We got to break through this level. Do we get a correction before that, right? So still, we're going to move into the months where the weather is changing, the seasonality, right? Tyrone, Jeremy, Joy, a lot of people, right, have been on top of this. Joy dropped the article on this nat gas play. We got to this level in a hurry, right? Just to recap, a lot sooner than I thought it was going to get there. So we'll see, right? Can we eventually get through this level? You know, either after a healthy pullback or if it's just going to push through and continue to run to that 317. So that is it. That is all I have for today, everybody. Again, looking to get long against the yen, right? See if we can get another little correction and then a continuation. But a lot of those 80-20s that we have pointed out with those yen crosses played out over the weekend, those to me were really the plays of the week, right? So to speak. You just took one, right, to a TP level. That pound yen was 300 some pips, I think, to TP. So that's a pretty healthy week there. So we'll continue to monitor. I do expect the markets to kind of adjust and move a little bit sideways, you know, to be cautious ahead of non-farm payroll. And then we'll move our way on through October, rocking and rolling. That being said, I'll see everybody tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you, Manny. Take it easy.
You're welcome.